Another degenerate feminist gets owned, another red pillar is born. Guys, there are some interesting shorts I'm going to react to today that I think embody the type of objection you see from feminists when it comes to reality and what they generally just hate about reality. Feminism causes the victim possessed by that doctrine to get triggered at any aspect of reality that is objective. Objective meaning it is true and has true characteristics regardless of what you may think or feel. That's enraging to a lot of women, especially degenerate feminists who are told constantly and are subliminally told constantly through media, through movies, through TV shows, that the femme-centric view of the world should be the operating system for humanity. And so they walk around with these false beliefs all the time. There are women walking around right now. If I were to go outside, especially here in Hollywood, and I just walk on the sidewalk, the average woman walking around undoubtedly holds delusional beliefs about several different things regarding objective parameters of reality. It may be based on biology, it may be based on any type of reason-based or rational system. But this kind of... There's a helicopter going by. Probably preparing for the Civil War. Anyway, degenerate women are finding it increasingly difficult to live in society and make sense of the world because they've demonized the only apparatus that allows them to interface with reality and make sense of those objective frameworks. So first you see it here where this woman thinks she can actually harm Sean Strickland, a UFC world champion. This woman believes in her head that if she kicks the UFC champion as hard as she can, she will actually harm him, that she will do damage to him. A UFC champion. There are women walking around with this delusion, and it is because they are told to resent the objective frameworks of reality by Marxism.
Better with my legs.
No way.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm way better at kickboxing.
I'm gonna check one kick, and she's gonna fall on her ass and be like, sucks.
UFC world champion Sean Strickland, who, by the way, recently came out as extremely based, made a video about that. I think that video's getting close to 1,000 views now, which is epic. Guys, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But this guy's like, I don't know what this girl is doing. She wants to kick me as hard as she can, but she's gonna literally hurt herself. Not only is she wrong that she cannot injure the world champion. I mean, that's obvious. Any person with a brain can recognize that. But she doesn't realize that she's probably going to hurt her own leg just by kicking him. And Sean Strickland, UFC champion, who's literally a professional. So understand the archetypal significance here. Literally the pinnacle in terms of competence of the thing that she falsely thinks that she's good at, is telling the camera, this is ridiculous, she's going to injure herself. Now look at the video.
Just send it. I like that. There we go, send it.
She's kicking as hard as she can. She's kicking him as hard as she can right now.
How about your leg kick? You got a good leg kick?
Bro, he's not even blocking. He's letting her make contact with his body and not moving or flinching. He's literally like, can you try a different kick? I mean, I'm not feeling anything right now.
No. Ow, Sean, my...
Dude, he didn't even strike her. The first time he blocked, she got so injured. By the way, nice still. Dude, this is why women don't belong in combat. Look at this image right now, bro. What am I looking at?
Leg!
Bro. This is what happens when a degenerate woman thinks that she can actually injure a UFC world champion. He raises his leg to block, and then she hurts herself just from her own kick. This is how delusional they are, bro. But you can guarantee that she thinks that women should have the equal vote. Anyway, continuing.
Dude, it's no joke.
Bro, he's like, what was the point of this, man?
I mean, it's not bad. You send them.
She injures herself again. What is she doing, bro? What is she trying to prove? She's living in her own world of delusion where there's no such thing as competence because authority and, masculinity is oppressive and patriarchal. It's probably white supremacist too. And so she thinks, oh, I can definitely fight on the same level as a UFC male world champion. Bro, this guy can take a punch to the face 6 times harder than you're capable of throwing a punch. You understand that? This is like the same vibe. This is when Pokimane was watching Fresh and Fit. She was watching a Fresh and Fit clip and then said that she could bench 225. It's like these women are not living in reality, and they actually view reality as an oppressive framework that unjustly discriminates against them because they're delusional. They are aware that they're delusional, and anytime they get reminded, they get triggered and resentful because they're told in that moment that they're victims and therefore good people. It's insane.
Ouch! You f***ing
He didn't even throw a single strike, and she injured herself 3 times just by kicking him. Think about how insane that is. Think about how different from reality that actually makes what she just went through.
Just one of them. No. Wait till I take my boot off.
Was that for me?
Yes.
No.
And now she's showing him the bruises that she incurred from her own delusion. This is insane. Okay, this next video is a woman demonizing the masculine preference of a woman that is actually feminine, meaning not degenerately feminine, or not possessed by radical feminism or Marxism or resentment or a hatred for reality and masculinity, but an actual feminine woman. She's demonizing that. It's so delusional.
I don't know why. I think that it's sexist that they have such large opinions on the fact that makeup is deceptive.
Exactly what I just said before. I think it's sexist men have opinions that put parameters and boundaries on what women do and say. Objective reality is oppressive. It has objective frameworks. This is the reason why I said, it's not an accident. I'm not making things up, guys. This is the reason I said women find objective parameters to be oppression. It's the reason why they demonize masculinity and why masculinity is the apparatus for which they make sense of the world. Because they reject reality, because their Marxist ideology tells them you must live in delusion in order to be oppressed, therefore to have counterfeit status, you must demonize all mechanisms that lead to truth. That's why they reject rationality, reason, logic, and of course, masculinity, which is a very sophisticated apparatus honed over literally thousands of years to build the world, make sense of things, and protect everybody. Oh, but masculinity is toxic, huh?
It's sexist for men to have large opinions on makeup.
When you rephrase their own statements, it is so absurd, it is so illogical, it is so obviously antithetical to reality. They themselves smile, knowing that they don't care about reality. This is how gleeful they are in the celebration of their delusion.
Why? How is it sexist?
Don't you have a rather large opinion on a man's height?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
So
that
it's the same.
By the way, take note that the girl that is clearly more attractive and doesn't demonize masculinity is looking at her as if she's absurd. So you can't even say that, oh, this is just all the men hating on women. Women obviously find this ridiculous.
Thing.
Yeah.
It's literally the same exact thing.
Oh no, I think this is like
Oh no, I think that, how am I gonna lie about reality now?
a debate that's been going on for like a really long time.
No, it's not a debate, because a debate is two ideas going to war with each other based on a system of coherence like logical reason. That's what defines debate. That's the reason there are objective parameters. That's the reason why moral relativists can't debate. You and people with your opinions haven't been able to engage in debate, only demonization and slander of any person that disagrees with you. Because there is no way to argue that men are misogynistic for preferring women that actually look like the photos that they have online, for instance. Or even more accurately, men aren't misogynistic for having preferences in women. In the same way, women aren't at fault for having preferences in men, but masculine preferences must be demonized and slandered because the entire masculine ethos is undesirable to the degenerate modern woman.
And I think that the fact that men just won't let women be and like
See, exactly. That's the way it appears in the feminine psyche. When you impose reality, when you adhere to literally objective reality, when you say 1 + 1 = 2, gravity's real, men have these preferences in women. You're not letting women be. How dare you be such an oppressive bigot? How dare you, essentially oppress me with facts and logic? It's insane. Women 500 years ago didn't have this problem. Do you know why? Because they didn't demonize masculinity, because they loved their lives, because they were raising kids, and because they were grateful that they didn't have to go out into the fields and work 14 hours a day, basically to provide pennies so that the family could eat.
do what makes them happy, and that they get so pissed off that a woman doesn't look like how she actually looks.
Right.
First of
They
all, I
only
think
do
that
things
is
in terms of emotional landscape. Notice what you just said there. Men get pissed off because they cannot control what women do. Categorizing everything in terms of control. So in the emotional mindset, they think that men only care about control rather than acknowledging objective reality. This is essentially a cognitive disability degenerate women have. Like I said before many times, they can't interface with reality because they've demonized masculinity, logic, and reason. And so the result is when they are trying to diagnose what they are hypothetically experiencing, which of course is counterfeit, they can't even label what's going on correctly, and they appear delusional even on that level of analysis.
superficial. And I'm not saying that it's bad because I'm also superficial. But
self-contradicted herself, but she was already in an incoherent place, and then she contradicted herself. This is the reason why feminists hate podcasts like this podcast, or whatever podcast, and the Fresh and Fit podcast, because it gives these women a stage to open their mouths and show everyone how disconnected and delusional they are. Because there's no way to argue with someone who says 2 + 2 = 5. All you can do is acknowledge that there's something wrong with their brain.
Like having a preference about a man's height, they can't control that, but men having a preference about how much makeup you wear, you can control that.
Right,
I think that it's...
And by the way, on top of that, men are not complaining about women having preferences in terms of men's height. That's completely fine. But women have a problem with men's standards for attraction, because again, masculinity is toxic and predatory, and everything bad with the world, patriarchal, white supremacist, pick your buzzword or your ad hominem, etc. This is the problem that we're facing, guys. Like and subscribe to the channel if you want to resist this type of utter delusion.